Hello everyone, and welcome to Angel Healing House, and welcome to Tarot Tuesdays, where we explore all things tarot. I answer questions about tarot, and I present a general reading. Whenever you find the reading, there just might be some information to help you with some direction, some clarity, some motivation, even inspiration. My name is Claire Candy Hough, and my name is also Angel Ariel, as I had an angelic walk-in experience on January 11th of 2003, which I write about in my #1 Amazon international best-selling book, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, the autobiography of Angel Ariel. I'd like to welcome back my loyal subscribers. It's lovely to be in your energies once more, and I'd like to thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing these videos. It does help my channel to grow. And if you have found the Claire Candy Hough channel for the very first time, a big welcome to you. And let me share a little bit about myself. Through my full-time business, which I created 19 years ago in 2003, my business is Angel Healing House. I'm a Reiki master teacher, having taught hundreds and hundreds of Reiki practitioners and master teachers around the world, either in my office here in Santa Monica, California, or online. I also am a clairvoyant, an intuitive, a psychic tarot card reader. I do past life clearings, ancestral healings. I also do twin flame energetic reconnection, whether your twin flame is on the earth plane or where they're across the veil, and they can help you immensely if you connect with them. To find out about my award-winning books and all of my services, please do go to my website, which is angelhealinghouse.com, or you can phone 831-277-3716, and do remember that's Pacific Standard Time. I'd like to send a very big thank you to all of those people who have made donations to my PayPal account for my free weekly content. And if you feel like you would like to make a donation, I've left my PayPal link in the description box down below with all of my contact information. Now, for those who are interested on Tarot Tuesdays, I'm using my Angel Healing House tarot deck, and yes, that is me. That was taken about 20 years ago, and I created and I designed these cards along with a wonderful artist, a very talented lady, and her name is Ariel, and hopefully these cards will be available to purchase later on in the year. Fingers crossed. But as we do every week on Tarot Tuesdays, it starts with a question. And the question today is, does it really make a difference how I shuffle my tarot cards? Well, when we're first learning tarot, and when we view the many different tarot card readers on YouTube, it can be very daunting. It can be very confusing to see the various ways that others choose to shuffle their cards. Some will start off by, I have on my desk, lighting candles and lighting incense as well. They want to bring in a sense of warmth, positivity, invoke only those angels and those spirit guides who are working in the purest, highest light, to bring forth only messages of the most optimistic and the positive, really stressing those messages of light and upliftment for people. Now, in some cases, after you've done an invocation or lit some candles or do your light some incense and all of those things, then we pick up our tarot deck and then we start to shuffle. Now, when you're shuffling, one of the things is I've been asked, what happens when a card jumps out of the deck? Okay, so you're shuffling along, and then, and then suddenly a card pops over. It popped over on cue. Wasn't that cute? Thank you, Spirit. In some cases, the card that jumps out, what we can do is we can take note of it. We can take note of it. We can say, okay, the Four of Wands is a success card. It's also called the marriage card. It's also called the 1111 card. In my deck, it's got the beautiful Holy Spirit and the doves on top, signifying a new beginning, a union, could be even a stronger foundation, buying a house, or the mountain is reaching some attainment in your life. And then what do you do with that card? What do you do with a card that jumps out? Well, you can put it aside and use it for a message for your upcoming reading, or you can just put it back in the deck. So it's up to you what you want to do if cards jump out of the deck. There are some who just take note of it and they put it back in the deck. They do a quick shuffle and they don't wait for jumpers to come out. Now, I've been asked, how do you know when to stop shuffling? Well, some people stop when a card jumps out of the deck. They have said to Spirit, that is my indication. I will wait for a jumper now. Sometimes you can wait for a long time for a for a card to jump out. Or there are some people who, will just take note of it, put it back in, and allow their intuition to tell them when to stop shuffling the deck. So they'll shuffle. They'll take the cards, they'll split them into 3 or 2, or whichever way you want to split them, and then they will choose cards from the spread that they are casting. Now, so the question is, does it make a difference how you shuffle your tarot deck? The only difference that it makes is the difference to you. We get a sense of familiarity and a sense of being comfortable with the way we shuffle cards. And it's going to be different for each tarot reader out there. It doesn't matter if you're doing it different from anybody else. It has to be familiar and it has to be comfortable for you, because remember, your energies are going into the reading. And if one is starting out with their cards and they're not too settled yet in a comfortable way that they feel intuitively that their cards are speaking to them, it just might be helpful to review some of the ways that other people do shuffle their cards, so that you can that you can try them out, the different ways, and to get into your tarot groove. Okay, the first is the traditional overhand shuffle. Now, anybody who has picked up a playing deck of cards, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, will start over and over, taking bunches and just going like this to shuffle the cards. This is the traditional. Some people have larger hands and they like to do it vertically. Some people choose to do it horizontally. It doesn't matter. But once we've done this for a while and we're just, build up speed, you see some people, oh, there's another one. There's another jumper. Okay. There's some, going like this and really shuffling the cards. And then there are some people that says, well, how do I know when to stop? Well, you could stop when one jumps out, or you can intuitively just allow yourself to say, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Does one put a priority on whether they stop until a jumper comes out? Well, like I said before, if you put a significance on that, as I do, then Spirit usually works in alignment with me to say, okay, it's time to stop, and they make a card jump out for me. But if you don't use that as an indication, just tap into your intuition as to, when you feel like it's time to stop, and to then split the deck and then then choose the cards. If you've decided to do one of the larger readings, like the Celtic Cross, and if you have missed the last 3 or 4 of these Tarot Tuesdays, I do go into the traditional 10-card Celtic Cross and explaining each one of those positions. And if you have done, if you are doing a longer reading and those 2 cards jump out for you, one of the things that you can do is, now some people take those cards and they put them in the positions. You know, maybe 1 card, and they'll say, yes, that's the general situation. If 2 cards jump out, yes, that's what's crossing. The 3rd card, maybe 3 cards jump out. Yes, that's the 3rd position. Other people take note of them, put them back in the deck. Again, they see if they're going to come out. Or if they just choose to keep the cards by the side to give more information to the reading, and then they just go on to choose. Again, it is up to you. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. Now, there is a popular thought that says that no matter how many times one shuffles their deck, with each action that we're shuffling the deck, we are putting wear and tear on our cards. And there are some of us who are professional tarot card readers who sometimes, you know, would use our cards 6, 7, 8 times a day to do readings, 6 or 7 times a week. Now that's a lot of times for shuffling our cards. I recall when I lived on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia, I received a reading from a wonderful 3rd generation tarot card reader who used a very, very old vintage deck that was used by her grandmother and then her mother. And both of these women were professional tarot card readers. All the lamination, you know, the laminating was worn off of these cards, and the paper was worn so thin that the cards seemed to be almost translucent and more like a soft, delicate material rather than a paper or a cardboard feel to them. To help save the life of your deck, your cards. And because we become very attached to our cards, it's our energy that's going into it. It's my cards for me are like part of my family. They're a member of my family. You know, I put so much of my focus and my attention on them that they become very cherished to me, and I want to make sure I keep them as long as possible. So if your cards are very special to you and you do not want to put too much wear and tear on them, there is a couple of things that you can do. Now, one of these things is, yes, you can do the hand over hand way of shuffling them, but then afterwards, you can arc them out in a curve or like one of those accordion fans, like a Spanish lady would use, you know, so whoosh, you know, that opens up and arc and curve the cards out. Also, you can just push the cards into a linear line, and then afterwards, you can choose the 10 cards that you would say, or you know, whatever spread you're using, that number of cards. Now, there is some say that it really doesn't matter if you choose it with your left hand or your right hand. But I am one of those people who say that I think it does matter, because our left side is our spiritual side. It's our receptive side. It's our divine feminine. It's our intuitive, and our intuition side is our left side. And so we're guided more from an intuitive's point of view rather than choosing from our right side, which is our masculine side, which is our forthright and assertive side. We're, you know, sort of pushing our agenda onto the cards. So I like to teach my tarot students that when they do it this way, they choose with their left hand. Again, if it doesn't matter to you, it doesn't matter to you. But I resonate more with choosing the cards with my left divine feminine, intuitive side. Now, if any of these methods above make you feel like you still haven't shuffled the cards enough, then there's something that's called the old lady shuffle, which just might be the answer to you. Now, there's no respect out there to old ladies, but I've also been heard that this method is called the grandma shuffle. Now, in many ways, it is the least technical, and it's probably the most fun way to mix up your cards. You need a large flat surface, like a bed or a massage table or a desktop, and then you take your cards and then you put them all face down and you just push the cards around and you mix them up. And after you've pushed them and smushed them and, just get them all going in different directions, then allow your intuition to tell you when to stop. Now, sometimes when this happens and you're really getting into it, there will be a card that jumps out. Take note of it. Either put it to the side because it's important, or else put it back in the deck, and maybe that is your cue to stop and then put all the cards together. Now, there is a reminder here that if you're going to do it this way, you will end up with reversals. And for those people who read reversals, fine. But there are some decks out there, like my deck, the Angel Healing House Tarot deck, that I state that it's not supposed to be read reversal. That's why I put the icon, the mascot, me, for Angel Healing House on the back of the card, only in one direction. So what happens if you then get this card coming out for you this way and you don't read reversals? Just turn it upright. Okay. So, but your cards will be then mixed, finally. Now, another thing that occurs when we receive our first tarot deck cards is to treat them like playing cards. Some people can't wait to get their deck out and they split it, and what they do is they go, oh, that always sounds like nails on a blackboard, and then they'll go like that and just riffle it through, and then they'll do that again, and then, to see how proficient they are at riffling their cards. Okay, that to me puts my teeth on edge. It looks wonderful in casinos and it looks wonderful at poker tables, but there will be nothing that will wear your cards out quicker than by riffling your cards. And if a tarot deck is particularly, sentimental to you or what, I would not recommend you riffling your cards. There are plenty of ways to shuffle them without, demonstrating your playing card expertise when it comes to riffling the deck. But then there's the last but not least. Some people have asked, okay, what do you do? What do you do no matter what shuffling method that you use? What happens and what can be done when you've bought a deck or you've been gifted a deck and it's much too big for your hands? Well, this happened to me several years ago, and I was gifted a beautiful deck. Oh, it was just lovely. But it was like two or three times the size of a normal tarot deck. And with these little hands, I just couldn't. I just couldn't get a feel of shuffling them properly. And no matter how much I love them, I did give them away to a cherished friend. But there are certain things that you can do. Do remember, tarot cards are not sacred objects. It's perfectly okay to modify them if they're too big for your hands. One thing that you can help tremendously if you love your cards and if they have a border on them, for instance, these cards, is to trim the border. Problem solved. Okay, but the problem with that is that you're going to have to do that another 77 times. times. And each time you do it, you got to make sure that the alignment is fairly uniform. You know, there's no rough edges sticking out and everything is smooth. Especially if you're going to cut them with scissors instead of like a professional paper guillotine cutting, you know, that kind of thing. So, but you can modify them for the size of your hands. So without further ado, the Posse of Angels asked me today, actually, if I would do a different spread. Now, as I said, for the last 2, 3, maybe 4 times, I've only introduced the traditional Celtic cross. And let me see if I can quickly just find that Celtic cross that oh yeah, here we go. This is the cross that we've been using and that I've been explaining about the different positions of the cards. But today they're saying, what happens if somebody doesn't want to use a traditional Celtic cross? What if they want to get a quicker reading? And it's like, okay, so we're going to go with a 5-card spread. And this is a 5-card general spread for the present. See, it's much different, and in each of these positions has a meaning. In number 1, this is going to be the card of our present situation around love. The next one is going to be of family. The next is going to be number 3 of our careers. The number 4 is what is influencing each area of our lives. And 5 is the outcome. Okay, so have a good look at that. And now 1 is love, 2 is family, 3 is career, 4 is the influencing energy around any of those areas, and 5 is the outcome. Now do remember, this is a general reading, and garner what you can for your own situation and leave the rest. So I'm going to knock on the cards 3 times, and I know immediately that, just like always, I, Angel Ariel, am part of the Posse of Angels, my angelic family, so they're always with me. I really don't have to call them in, but you know, I know that the messages are always going to be uplifting, enlightening, positive, and only for the purest and highest light that there is. So let me have a few more shuffles here. One more, they're saying one more shuffle. Okay. Okay, cut them into 3, and let's see what comes out. 1, 2, 3. Okay. First card that's coming out for us in that position of the love area of our life is a number 9. Is coming to the end of a cycle. Many of us have come to the end of the cycle. The eclipses brought a closure to this, the ending of the cycle of isolation and restriction. And this is coming and bringing our light forth. It could be in the area of love for ourselves. You know, finding our lights within and loving ourselves enough to share that with others. It could be finding romantic love, you know, putting ourselves out there to make ourselves vulnerable and to open up to receive romantic love. It could be love for our family. Many people have let go of so much grief and judgment that they're seeing their families in a whole different light. They're no longer triggered or reactive by what they do, what they choose, and those kind of things. It could be a love for our careers. It could be a love for family. And it's just this shooting star is telling us that this is something that's destined. And now they're saying with this full moon, going to be on June 14th in Sagittarius. It's going to make us feel like we want to get out. We want to get out and experience more of life, more of love, more of loving ourselves, and sharing ourselves and the things we love doing with the rest of the world. We're going to that Sagittarius full moon has the qualities of bringing us to a place of curiosity and discovering more and going on more adventures. So, and we see the snake by the Hermit's feet in my card, and this is transmuting and transforming all that is no longer in resonance with us, and releasing and letting that go so that we can take our lights out and share it with the village. We don't have to walk that mountain pass on our own anymore, and we can share what we love with the world. Now, you see in my card that there is the wise old owl. And many of us have garnered and remembered so much spiritual wisdom that we take it for granted, what we know and what we have put into practice in our lives. But now it is a time to love what we do and to share it with the world. So that's our first position. In the second position, in the 5-card general present spread, is the card of family. And the next card that's coming out is the Hierophant. Now, the first thing that the posse of angels, my angelic family, are whispering into my ear is that this will be a time of connecting with our soul families. It's a time of collaboration. Now, this was a time, the Hermit card was a time of isolation. It was a time of feeling restricted and not being able to be out there. But now we're going to feel like connecting with those people who are not only like-minded, but they're heart-centered. And being with them just feels so familiar and so comfortable for us. So when we are offered those things, people like our projects, they like our services, they like us, they want to include us, support us, even financially support us in their projects, our projects, things coming together of light and of positivity, of truth, of justice. There are going to be so many different new structures and new systems that are going to replace those old that were built on greed and profit and harming and leading to death for so many people. This is indeed a number 5 card, and the fives are all about change. And this change is coming in the way that we see ourselves, and no longer isolated and having to do things on our own, as our soul families will come in. And this is a much more heart-centered way of working and of being. So that's number 5. That's the family. Next is, in this general present spread right now, the number 3 is our careers. Now, the careers is also our money. The career is also our material world and things like that. And the next one that comes out is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, this is a great card when it shows up in the career section, because the Queen of Pentacles is somebody who has come home to her nurturance inside of herself. She knows that she's abundant. She knows abundance is her nature. And she knows that, that by feeling this wealth and prosperity and riches, that she will then be given more. It doesn't work the other way around. She doesn't wait to feel this way in order to get things from that treasure chest, but she knows that the energies inside of her are all the time keeping her in the flow of money, material goods coming towards her. And with it being pentacles, it's very grounded in physical, tangible things that we can touch, taste, smell, see, all of those of our five senses. But she's also working, and look with her pet, the unicorn. She also knows that she's working and she's co-creating with spirit. And that's what the posse of angels are telling us, that at this time, many of us have released and let go of just doing it on our own, because we know that we're co-creating with spirit, and that our inspired action will be triggered when spirit sends us a sign or a message to then step on a new path or a different way of serving and that kind. So this is a particularly good card to get when it comes to our careers. And I just want to show you something interesting. Let me just look at the other cards in my tarot deck, in my court cards. What I designed, which is pretty cool, for the queens and the kings, is that they are a combined force. And let me see, it's probably the last card that I will look at to see if it's going to come up. But I want to get the King of Pentacles. Where are you, King of Pentacles? Okay, King, there he is. Okay. If you put the two together, the king and the queen, you see how the riches come together in the treasure chest. They're a combined force, which is pretty cool. And the queen and the king are in each suit. When they come together, the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. So let's go to our next position. Our next position is the 5-card general present spread, is this one. And that's the top. It's at the top because it's the influencing energy, influencing love, it's influencing family, and it's influencing our careers. And the card that comes out is the 3 of Wands. Now, this is the card of watching our hard work pay off in the physical. The ships are coming in. I love this card in my tarot deck. Look at the folds in her beautiful, beautiful dress. And there she stands on the top, having attained that higher view with her faithful dog, because she's had faith and hope and trust in herself, in her endeavors, in her projects, in the things that Spirit asked her to do. And now the 3 is the number of creation. The 3 is also the number of collaboration and connections coming in, but it's also the card of miracles. And now she's able to see those karmic paybacks and karmic payouts and all of those things coming in for her. So, and the wands have to do with our career, our vision, our ideas, all of those things, our creativity. So that those collaborations and that creative energy and those miracles are now having influence over our love lives, our family, whether that's our biological family or our soul families, and our career and finances. The next card is the number 5 in this general spread, and that one is basically the outcome of all of these cards. And then the next one is the Justice card. This is the card of balance. Everything balancing out in our lives. The light that is pouring in. This is the light of truth. This is the light of justice. There are so many legal actions being taken against those who knew that what they were pushing on us were there to destroy our immune systems and to tyrannize us and to take our power away. All of that is being revealed now, and the scales of justice are balancing out. This also is a card of, again, legal contracts, of of new things coming in, signing on the dotted line, but it is the card of truth and justice being balanced out in life, in all of our areas. In love, let's take love for instance, because we've come home to ourselves, we've come home to the love and the light inside of ourselves. We're not going to choose anybody else who's going to be disrespectful and dishonoring to us. No, I'm not going to show the universe that I will accept respect and dishonor in any way. So then the universe knows exactly to send us respectful and honoring people when it comes to love. In the area of our families, will we allow others to denigrate us? Will we allow others to disrespect us? No. In no way. We will stand up for ourselves and we will balance those scales of justice in our lives and in our careers as well. We will not do anything anymore that is a compromise and makes us settle for less than we so richly deserve. You know, it may not be the job of to end all jobs, but it's not something that we will do that will dishonor and disrespect us. And then the third, the influencing energy, is now we're open to receive. We are open to receive the miracles and the creative, infinite possibilities of magic, serendipity, also synchronicity and magic and miracles that the universe has for us. So there is your 5-card general spread. Now, to finish off today, Spirit asked me to dig deep into my draw, and I hadn't used these the runes for ages and ages. Why? I don't know. Things go in cycles. But they want me to choose a rune for today. And so, now again, people say, you know, I haven't used the runes before. How do you know when to stop? With me, this is this is my ring finger. This is my ring finger on my right hand. When one of the runes feels like it's stuck, there it is, okay. When it feels like it's stuck and it doesn't want to come off that's when I know when to choose the rune. And this rune was the one that stuck to my finger. It's the rune of Kano. And Kano is the rune of opening. It's the rune of fire. And it's the rune of the torch. Now, this is the rune of renewed clarity in our life. And remember, Sagittarius is a fire sign, a go-getter, inspired action, and just excitability, curiosity, discovery. It's the time to dispel the darkness on some area that has been shrouded in your life. But this is a rune of liberation from all the lies and the deceit that we've been told, but also it's a liberation and a freedom for us, and a freedom of not being able to receive what is divinely meant to be ours. Kano really is a rune for the morning of activities, they're saying. It's a beginning. It's a beginning of an endeavor in our life. It's one of the 13 cycle runes, but the more light we have with this Kano breaking open the light of the new coming into our life. And I just saw a scarab, Egyptian scarab beetle. I haven't seen one for a very long time, and it just appeared and hovered right outside the window. So this tells me that this opening is going to be bringing in much magic into our lives. Now, in this way, we recognize that while on one hand, there has been some restriction, there has been isolation, but we know that it wasn't the right timing for us to move forward. And now with that full moon revealing different avenues for us, and also the summer solstice, and as I mentioned before, working with the 666 portals of May 6th and May 15th and May 24th. There's all of these wonderful ways to harmonize and balance and bring joy into our life. This is definitely a sign of the old ways just waning in order for the new torch to be presented to us. And it will illuminate the way forward for us. So this is the rune of Kano. So I hope all of that has been very helpful for you. As always, let's make a little magic and finish up this Tarot Tuesday today with some magic. I hope everybody is well. As I said on my walk-in Angel Ariel's Weekly Wisdom, which I post on every Saturday, now that we're into June, there's a lot of weddings going on. There's a lot of people planning summer, well, especially here in the Northern Hemisphere, planning summer holidays, and also July 4th celebrations coming up. And especially those of us that are empaths, those of us that are sensitives and intuitives, we are picking up the newness surrounding that summer, that solstice coming up. And, you know, those that are in the southern hemisphere are also picking up that new change of season as they're going from autumn into winter. So one more, if you don't make things, if you don't make things hop out for me, that I will choose just 3. So they want me to choose just 3 on my very own. There we go. The first one that's coming out for us is Love Charm. Attract a lover, a soulmate, or a life purpose, a life partner. Now this one has everything to do with this one. It's our soul family. It's because we've come home to ourselves that we will be attracting that soul family. It could be romantic love, could be a love of comfortable and familiarity partnerships that we're going to be bringing to ourselves. It could be that you're moving to a new location and suddenly it just feels, your neighbors feel like family. You know, you feel like a deja vu, like you've lived there before, like you just feel such a kindred spirit. And this is the love charm that we're bringing to ourselves. The next card that's coming out for us is the Philosopher's Stone. Powerful manifestation of wishes and goals by harnessing universal energies. Many of us have come home to ourselves. Many of us, in that first card, that Hermit card, is that we have now taken that light. And that light is our guiding force. And we're using it like we have become the Philosopher's Stone, where any place that Spirit directs you to, you will be protected. Because the protection comes from inside of you. You will be guided. And because you're letting your heart-centered, intuitive energies create your new reality. And I'm excited to see what the next one is. The next one, again, this one is Happy Love, a joyful, stable partnership and good friends. So they really do want to push the love theme here. They really are pushing it, that we've come home to ourselves. And the more loving that we can be with ourselves, the more respectful, the more honoring, then we will see that same reflection appearing in our realities. I hope that's all been helpful for you. If you would like your own in-depth 2-hour intuitive counseling session, angel card reading, Reiki sessions. They're so in-depth. We look into your Akashic records. We see your life from a higher perspective. Any of my services or my award-winning books, along with I Am an Angelic Walk-In, is we have one true home behind the veil of forgetfulness. So many people have said when they start reading this book, they cannot put it down because it is so intriguing, but it reminds them of their own journey across the veil that we all get to take. And of course, there's the beautiful Angels of Faith book. For all of those books, award-winning #1 Amazon international bestsellers, and my services, please do go to my website, which is angelhealinghouse.com. All that information is in the description box below. And hopefully I'll be hearing from you in a couple of days' time on my Angel Healing House blog talk radio show, now in its 11th year. And hopefully you'll be one of the ones that are chosen if you call in for a free mini angel reading. I've given away thousands upon thousands of readings in the last 11 and a half years. And hopefully you'll be one of the ones that is chosen for a free mini angel reading. Do remember to go out and fashion an absolutely beautiful life for yourself. Take care, everyone. I'm wishing you love and, of course, angel blessings. And I look so forward to speaking with you again next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.